We are back in Tucson, Arizona here at the Tucson Racket and Fitness Club as Juan Santos Ibanez and his doubles partner Rudy Cruz, both from the OC, #1 player in the rankings right now, teamed up with the guy that's ranked #3, Rudy Cruz, against John Iglesias and Shorty Ruiz, which has always been a crowd favorite. Now, Dave Fink, who's in the booth here for this match, I don't know how much the local crowd knows about Shorty, who's always got an entourage following him around from stop to stop, always helping him out, you know, when it comes to the crowd support. I don't see him with that crowd support here, and I heard that if he made the finals that his dad and uncle and the whole group is they're getting into a rental and coming over here from Hawthorne and gonna root him on in the finals if he makes it that far.
Well, Shorty picks up fans very quickly. People love the way he plays. He has a certain charisma about him that draws people to him, very much opposite to you, Dave.
People actually run when I'm around.
All right.
Shorty Ruiz in the blue shirt. His doubles partner is John Iglesias.
0-0.
Serving the ball will be the orange-shoed Rudy Cruz.
And Dave, very little warm-up for these guys. They couldn't have been in the court more than 3 minutes, and now we're already starting.
That's another similarity between small and big.
Wow.
Look at that shot. That's the reason why the #1 player in the world can make those type of shots. Juan Santos goes with that corner kill right there. Santos is the players' champion.
Dave, I know you talk a lot about just how difficult it is to play so many matches. John Iglesias now in his 3rd division, in his 10th match of the event. He has to be hurting.
From here, it looks like he's gonna reach. Take 2.
That's true.
1-0.
And Dave, I wasn't much of a believer in making those kind of excuses, but now I believe I'll have to become a believer. And you know, it's difficult, Dave, as a player, because you enter these events and you see all these divisions, you want to play in all of them, and it sounds like a great idea until you actually start doing it.
Well, you can only do it when you're young. And even then, we can see that some of these guys that are young are unable to handle a couple matches back to back. It's brutal. This game is becoming more brutal as the players get better and stronger. And you see that
power there.
Unbelievable power from that deep, Dave. Are you serious?
1-1.
Very difficult to generate that much power with the big ball off the back wall. As it's so light that
Point.
hard to really drive the ball off the back wall.
2-1.
The hardest big ball shots when the ball is coming into you. You can use the force of the ball and generate your own pace with a stiff paddle.
Man down. 2-1.
I see Dave looking at the WPH message board that there's not much big ball talk in there. Is there a separate big ball message board that maybe I don't know about?
Yes, it's on Facebook.
1 serves 2.
California Handball Players
I thought
Only.
Facebook was just for like high school kids.
No,
Oh,
California
really?
Handball Players Only. Rudy Cruz's wife is currently very active right now, supporting her husband.
I had breakfast with...
She's not a high school kid.
Okay. I had breakfast with Rudy and Juan this morning, Dave. Just incredibly
Great people.
Incredibly great people. Very engaging.
So you're saying you had a nice one-on-one with Juan?
Yes.
Okay.
It was actually a one-on dose.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah.
2-1.
Oh, weird get right there from John Iglesias. Up to the ceiling is Cruz.
Dave, I know we have a WPH reporter on staff here that has been recently hired. He's actually here.
Point.
Getting close to being fired, by
Gathering
the way. But
intel.
go ahead, keep going.
Okay. Well, I just didn't know if
3-1.
he would also be serving as an announcer or if he is just strictly a print reporter.
Just
Overball.
print is probably the best.
Okay.
Too good looking to be
Check ball.
an announcer. Don't want to waste that face.
3-1.
But he is on the verge of being fired, you said?
Yes.
I've heard there's been some very good reviews of his work.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Point. 4 serves,
I
1.
mean, you know, rumors aren't always true. I just had a couple of people come up to me specifically.
Why would they be coming up to you?
Well, as a WPH representative and also employee, they wanted to compliment me on what we're doing.
Okay.
And
Point.
they tell me, you know, we really love what the WPH is doing, incorporating big ball,
5 serves,
small
1.
ball, women's handball, all the junior programs. And I also really love this new on-staff reporter. So it kind of went like that. Now, it's
Okay.
not word for word. I'm kind of
Man
paraphrasing.
down. Five serves, 1.
And Dave,
Set out.
despite John Iglesias playing a qualifier final on
Nope.
Thursday,
You burn. 1 serves,
winning
5.
a round of 16 and then losing in overtime in the round of 8 yesterday, then playing in the small ball playoffs today, and a small ball singles match, he's now in here in big ball doubles.
Man down.
So
Well, you're making
I'm
a big
sure
emphasis on that, but you realize that they are the
1 serves,
ones
5.
who brought out the credit card and entered the tournament and elected to play multiple divisions.
well, that gets
mean,
back
you're-
to my
you're
point.
making-
When you look at that
So-
draw sheet, everything looks so great. You know, I want to play big ball doubles, big ball singles, small
5 serves,
ball,
1.
and then you start doing it, and
Well-
you find out maybe like at the dinner table,
Well,
maybe my eyes were bigger than my appetite. I've always known better. I enter one division, lose, and
Well-
make a lot of excuses.
Well, you stole the words right out of my mouth.
Over ball. Take 2. The floor. Man down. 5 serves, 1. Second serve. Point.
Another point.
6 serves, 1. Second serve. Point.
And another point being called here as Ruiz and
7-1.
Iglesias just running away with it at the moment. You have the #1 player in all of big ball here struggling in Juan Santos.
Set out.
It doesn't always translate to being the best doubles player,
Well,
but
they said in singles
1-7.
earlier today he just dominated. I mean, just unbelievably dominated his earlier matches. And they said they didn't think that he was an indoor type of player, but they found out quickly that he
Man
has
down.
the same shots no matter where he's standing.
I'll check it.
well,
Keep it. Keep it.
Juan and Rudy tell me that they try and play a lot of indoor.
You get out.
They also have been experimenting playing with the small ball.
1 serve, 7. Over ball. 1 serve, 7. Point. 2 serve, 7. Side out. 7 serves, 2.
We've already seen the other top big ball player eliminated from this doubles competition in Santos Hernandez, and now it looks like perhaps the #1 big ball player also on his way out of this
8
doubles
serves, 2.
competition.
Well, it's still early here. It's only the first game, Dave.
Juan and Rudy, Dave, trained together Rudy telling me he tries to play every day.
Man down.
That's
8
because
serves
of
two.
the timeouts that are mandatory at its
Short.
work release program.
Second serve.
Just a little joke for the Cruz family. It's just,
It sounded really funny.
Side out.
yeah.
I mean, what's better than joking about somebody being in prison?
What? I wasn't saying prison. I said
Oh.
work release
Oh,
program.
Two serves
release.
8.
That was just a little joke too, Rudy.
Man down. 2 serves 8.
Rudy's one of the best. You had breakfast with him earlier today, so you found out that he's just a nice guy. And
Side out.
Juan Santos, what a great kid. I hope that you picked up the tab this morning. I know that you're very friendly like
8
that.
serves 2.
I did this morning with the big ball players at our table.
Well, it actually doesn't count if you brag about
Point.
doing it.
Well, I
Well,
wasn't trying to
yeah,
benefit
you
myself
just
here.
did,
I'm
yeah,
just saying
well.
that I was
9 serves 2.
hoping that you did. I'll take a wink or
9 serves
anything
2.
just to let me know.
Well, I'm not that kind of person to go ahead and boast about myself.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying he's so nice that you had to pick up the tab, but I guess apparently you didn't. I picked up the tab for some not so nice players.
But I guess you're not naming names.
Not yet.
Oh.
Point.
Little screen there, no call from the referee and no arguing from
10
Rudy
serves 2.
Cruz. 10-2, 2 games of 15, breaker to 11. Great court instincts though from Rudy Cruz. Unbelievable.
Man down.
A lot of people think that these guys are just different players on an indoor court.
10 serves 2.
Rudy just sizing up the play there. A nice little corner kill
Side
from
out.
Juan Santos.
Asking Juan, Dave, what enables
2
him
serves 10.
to be able to hit these incredible shots and, you know, have that ability to freeze his opponents and hit the ball into the opposite corners? And he said, yeah, I just don't know. It's just what I do. Very similar, Dave, to any great athlete in any sport. I'm not sure they can even explain it. It's just something that comes so naturally to them. I know Dave Chapman has been incredible in being able to explain what's made him so good at his various camps and instructionals.
3 serves 10. 3 serves 10.
He has truly, Dave,
Point.
broken the game down and revolutionized the way that it's been taught.
4 serves 10. Man down.
Referee is Samson
4
Hernandez.
serves 10.
If you're wondering why you're hearing his voice, that's because he and Ricky Ruiz lost to Sal Duenas and Black. Danny Cervantes.
Side out. 10 serves 4. Over ball. 10 serves 4. Over
And
ball.
Dave, there was some talk about Juan Santos perhaps
Same score.
pulling a hamstring in his match against Samson Hernandez at Los Cab, but he said that he just had a slight cramp in his leg, nothing serious.
But what?
I'll let that be known that I brought that up, not him.
Point.
He didn't make any excuses.
Sorry.
Everybody in the
11
world
serves
knew
4.
that, but you kept saying it so many times that I think it almost made people believe you.
Point.
And there you can see how Santos can
You say people, though, as if
12
there's
serves
more than
4.
one person watching.
Well, I hope there is. And I'm also assuming there is.
So you make assumptions now.
All the time. Every 1/10 of a second we make an assumption. Ask him at Peugeot, he'll tell you.
He's been a bundle of personality here in this event and all the previous events on the race stops.
It's going that way? Was it going this way? Aquí? Was it going this way or that way? I didn't see what way it went. I just seen it hit him.
And Dave,
going
do we
that
have
way.
a full slate of matches
way?
leading up to the final tonight?
Honestly, I didn't see.
Yeah, it's
I
been
seen it hit it, but I
posted,
didn't see where
okay.
it went.
Every day on the message board and on our website. And I'm glad
I
you're bringing it
didn't
up
see.
during this argument
Wait.
here.
I just seen it hit you, and it looked like it was gonna reach. I seen it was gonna
It's
reach.
the referee's call, and he's saying
I
that
feel like it
he
was gonna reach
felt
'cause
it was
looked
going to
like
reach
it was
the
going
front
that way.
wall. And
So go ahead, take over. 12 serves 4.
getting back to that discussion about big ball, we do have
Second serve.
matches slated and good list of events.
Over ball. 12 serves 4.
And John Iglesias, amazing shot making.
Point.
Sets up Shorty, who hits a power punch drive right at Rudy's feet. Rudy trying to recover from that
13
incredible
serves 4.
diving pickup.
We have the lower bracket semifinals of big ball singles coming up right after this.
Man down.
What's amazing about John
13 serves
Iglesias,
4.
Dave, is he's like a chameleon. He just
Short.
fits his personality and his game to whatever
Second serve.
code he's playing. You see him play one-wall big ball. He looks like he'd be one of the top one-wall big ball players, has all the mannerisms of the one-wall big ball players. You see the same thing when he plays four-wall small ball and now three-wall big ball. He just has the right swag.
Side out. You're good. 4 serves 13. Man down. 4 serves 13. Point.
Amazing shot from Rudy Cruz.
5
Overhand
serves 13.
tomahawk, cross-court corner rollout.
Point.
And it's very frustrating, Dave, to be aced
6 serves
in
13.
big ball doubles four-wall.
Side out.
And John makes up for the unreturned serve at
13 serve
5-13
6.
with a return kill shot.
I agree with you about being aced. It just doesn't happen. Although in my doubles match earlier today, it happened a lot.
So you're playing in this event?
I was playing, and it was unbelievable. Lost to Sal Duenas and Danny Cervantes
Point.
earlier today.
Okay.
Up 12-4 in the first game, just dominating.
game point, serve
They came
6.
back and beat us. Not good.
Well, it must have been hard to play in your oversized jacket
Yeah.
and slacks.
It was difficult, but I felt I did pretty good for the first 8 points. This is game point for Ruiz and Iglesias here. So
So-
see Shorty taking everything now. And a miss hit
Jonathan
from
was-
John Iglesias.
Man down.
Had a good beat on that pass shot, but just had his hand a little bit
Possible game
cupped
point, serve 6.
too much. But Dave, it's interesting that the game that you play on a daily basis, four-wall, small ball, you don't enter the event, but then you enter a division, a game that you very rarely play.
Yeah, I just think it's a better game. It also is not hard on my body, Dave. You played some big ball as we have a great rally here. John Iglesias going over the top of that and taking down this first game 15-6,
fellas.
but it just is not as hard on my body. Even though I'm hitting the floor more and doing more diving gets, I'm able to walk right now. And if
Yeah.
I was playing small ball in a pro doubles match, I would be really hurting right now.
Yeah.
But for some reason, it's just
Well-
easier on the joints, and I'm having joint problems as we speak.
Small ball is probably the hardest game in the world, both physically on your body and all the skills that it requires. Big ball, I think, is a little bit easier to pick up. Not to say that the guys aren't just as skilled, but it's a game that you can pick up and start playing the first day you ever play. Small ball is a game that takes literally years to develop the amount of skills necessary to even rally. But certainly, Dave, both games have their...
I love playing both. I just
Yeah.
don't like being in pain for 2 weeks after I get done playing. And then
Oh.
with big ball, I'm able. It's odd because the rallies are, in a lot of ways, are a lot longer because the ball
Yeah.
stays up. And we had many 40-shot rallies in there today. And I held my own in pro doubles and big ball. Felt like I actually did better than I would have in small ball with the same type of level of players, Dave. But for some strange reason, I have no pain at this moment, and I feel good, and I wish I was still in the event. Unfortunately, we lost to the guys that are in the finals now.
After every tournament I play, Dave, in small ball, I go straight to the physical therapist and the orthopedic, where I spend every day there for the next month leading up to the next event. Now, if I was playing big ball, I probably would never even know the name of an orthopedic surgeon.
That's probably true, and you would have a really cool nickname. We are going to take a quick break. We'll be back in a couple minutes. We'll have game number 2 of the semifinals of the Pro Big Ball Doubles here at the WPH R48 Pro 2 season. Alongside him, Dave Fink. Him, Dave Vincent. We'll be back in just a bit. Stick with us. Don't take your headphones off until I take mine off. Well, you're quick. I'm scolding you. I'm being scolded right now.
All right. You guys serve first, so they serve.
No, but our guys they're gonna have
All right, play ball.
a handball player that
0-0-0.
last point.
Lopsided game number 1, Dave, is the top player in the game, Juan Santos, losing badly with partner Rudy Cruz. We saw that, though, Dave, in game number 1 with Sal Duenas
0-0-0.
and Danny Cervantes, who nearly got shut out and then came back and won the match.
Okay.
I believe the game 1 score was 15-7.
Over ball. Fine. 0-0-0.
Shorty, Dave, very similar in big ball to Sean Lenning in small ball, where when he gets hot, he can run off 7 or 8 points in a minute and a half. He just has the ability to end rallies.
1-0.
Well, when he gets upset, he has a way of doing that as well, and it's something I've really only seen a couple players do, where they feel like they were disrespected. They go out into their phone booth, they put on the Superman outfit, and then come back in completely changed. I felt Sean Lenning in your match today was
3-0.
disrespected. He felt that he was disrespected at one point when you said that the ball didn't double bounce, and he felt it 2 bounced your hand, or you hit it twice, and he was arguing with you, and then he got mad about the floor being wet, and then all of a sudden, I'm thinking to myself, this Sean Lenning's not the guy you want to get upset, because he's going to just take it out on you now, and he did. You don't want to upset Shorty Ruiz as well, and I'm agreeing with you.
4-0.
Well, I've actually seen both guys go both ways. Sometimes their anger fuels them to play incredible ball, and other times it kind of puts them into submission.
Point.
So you kind of never know.
Now we have a 5-0 lead here for Santos and Cruz.
Well, Dave, Juan Santos has been absolutely amazing early here in this first game, including 2 unbelievable left corner paddle kills. And you know, Dave, sometimes when you play so well in game number 1, you come out a little bit flat in game number 2. And it looks like that's what's happened to Shorty here. Looks a little bit too casual right now.
Wow, look at that power right there from Shorty. When he steps in, he
Man
can
down.
really plaster that ball.
5-0.
Rudy Cruz steps in.
I think, Dave, that it's really cool that Shorty's one of these guys that takes on partners who aren't from the OC or from LA. You see all the other guys pairing up with their buddies and guys that they train with. But Shorty actually plays with these New York guys and these four-wall, small-ball guys. You know, you saw him play with Pee Wee over the summer. Now you're seeing him play with John Iglesias, a former New Yorker who now kind of toggles between 8 different cities.
Timeout, Shorty.
But that's, Dave, the future of our game is incorporating everyone into these different codes and exposing everyone to playing with these top players, because that's what makes you fall in love with these games, is getting to play in matches like this and playing alongside one of the great players.
I agree with you. I also think that Shorty likes to pick doubles partners that are either the same size or smaller than him.
Well, I
That's
know
how
that,
I thought he was doing it.
Oh.
I mean, makes him, and at least in the pictures, look like he's the tallest guy in the room.
Okay. Shorty's
Pee Wee
doubles
Castro.
relationships, Dave, don't seem to last all that long, as he does have a quick temper with his partners. I know, Dave, you saw in Vegas, if you weren't hallucinating from the heat, that he was
Pee Wee Castro and
screaming down Pee Wee
7-0, second
in a
man.
match. I thought Pee Wee played pretty well. I don't think they'll be teaming up again.
Well, I've seen some doubles partners come in and just say, I want you to do that to me, because it motivates us. That's a mouse into the right corner from Santos.
8-0.
But you see some players go in and say, I want you to treat me like that, because that'll motivate me and get me out of these snaps. And perhaps Pee Wee said that to Shorty.
Well, actually, he didn't. He said the opposite. Told him, actually, I'll never play with you again.
Huh.
So,
Well, now we have Iglesias.
John Iglesias is a hard guy to offend. I've never seen him
I've
without
tried.
a smile on his face.
I've tried.
I've seen you try, and I believe you'll keep trying.
Side out.
What is there about offending someone? Is that a rush that you get, or is it something
I like
about
this-
your own personality that makes you feel
Well,
better about
it's definitely,
yourself?
it's definitely something wrong with my personality, but I like to do it just to see how they're going to react.
Yeah.
Now, if they get really upset, then I say, well, I just wanted to see how you're reacting.
Yeah.
If they take it lightly, I go, now that's a cool cat right there. I just basically provoked a fight,
Yeah.
and they didn't jump on board. I like them.
So everything's kind of a
Test.
two-way. Well, it's always a
No.
two-way kind of operation with you, because, you know, if they take it lightly, you can keep going. If they take it wrong,
1-8,
well, you're
second
just,
man.
you know, they misinterpret it. You're just,
Short.
When I was a young kid, I took a gun and tried to shoot a
Second
bird out
serve.
in the woods. and
Yeah.
it just stayed there, so I tried to shoot it again. I mean, that's kind of how this is. If they stay there and let me do it, I'm going to keep doing it. And if they get mad and fly away, then I learn my lesson, I guess.
do you learn your lesson, though?
No, I just
Okay.
keep doing
You
it.
just said that then.
I'm a hunter.
Yeah.
2 serves 8.
Nice corner
Point.
kill right there from Shorty Ruiz. Split-second decision to go to that
serves
corner, knowing that he had Rudy Cruz off to the right deep.
Side out.
Bad hand air there from Johnny Churches.
Well, that's
8
a
serves 3
tough
first
spot
man.
for John, as he was
8 serves 3 first
trying to
man.
retreat, but he got caught hanging on his back foot.
Man down.
And Dave, I'm just trying to catch up with you here. So when the floor is wet, you say to just not bother with it. Are you
8
saying that
serves
because
3.
it just dries on its own quickly, or are you saying that because you don't think that it would cause a slip and possible
I just have
injury?
not. I've never seen one, Dave. Just never seen it. Maybe someday it'll happen, and then you can smile and get out your little dry, wet mop
out.
and kiss it and say, "I knew that this was right."
Right,
But
I mean,
until then, I've not
survey.
seen
If you have a
anybody
four-way
slip.
intersection and there's never been an accident, does that mean you shouldn't put stop signs there? Do you have to wait for somebody to die before you put
Well, I'm
stop
assuming
signs
there's
in?
already stop signs there, but
Well, not necessarily. Or maybe there's stop signs but not a traffic light.
Huh.
Now, are you going to wait for someone to die before putting
Yeah,
that light in?
probably
Oh, so
so.
you are, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Probably going.
Well, that's maybe where you and I are different then. I don't
I doubt
like
it.
err on the side of caution.
I think that's a little too cautious, and it also wastes time.
Well, I don't like wasting time, and I prefer to just play with no timeouts, but I do want to be safe when I'm playing.
Look at that nice get right there, and he's
Call it,
claiming that the ball
call
was.
it.
They call it a burn
Good
here.
call. Stop it. I'll give it to you.
Oh, you hear the
3 serves
referee
8.
telling Shorty, stop it. Like, be quiet. Shorty was banging on the referee for not calling that earlier.
Well, I don't believe our referee is in a position to really be messed with right now. Even if he were, I wouldn't be
mess
the
with
guy that
No.
I would choose.
Now, if he
4
asks for a
serves 8.
towel and I'm a referee, I throw it down immediately. I will never chastise that.
Well, last time I saw you referee, you
Time
called
out. Okay, time out.
a side out at 10-10 in the tiebreaker because the server bounced the ball off her foot
Yeah,
and
I
didn't
called
get the
score.
serve off in time.
Called the score, and she bounced it off her foot, and I called a side out.
No, we were actually playing with no.
It was actually a
Well, depends.
correct call. I
Yeah.
got a hold of Joe Cox,
Uh-huh.
who set me straight.
What number is he on your speed dial?
He's my Fab 5, actually,
Oh.
on my favorite 5.
Okay.
This one's like doesn't really hurt. Maybe like you get a little scar here.
So you don't really have a favorite, just all 5 are equal. Is that what you're saying?
No, he's just number 5 on my
okay.
pound 5 on my phone.
After a while, you get so used to it.
This is game number 2. Santos and Cruz lose the first one 15-7. Playing a little bit different here in game number 2 as they are leading 8-3.
From LA. I'm Cali. Yeah, I came.
And Dave, apparently the big ball players do not have to wear WPH shirts.
No, they don't.
All right. 5 serving 8.
Not in doubles.
First man. Over ball. 5 serving 8.
This has really been a cool event, Dave, and really it's just halfway over for the amateur players and the big ball players, and as the event is now really starting to come to form.
5 serves 8. Second man.
There's a lot of people, Dave. All the courts are filled up. Everyone's really having a good time and getting to watch some great handball.
It's unbelievable, really.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that little paddle kill from about 34 feet back. Shorty Ruiz opening up with his
6
left
serves
hand
8.
and hitting it about an inch high, Dave. See Shorty Ruiz wearing the Team Elite shirt from Ireland with his name on the back. Wow. Big setup for Shorty.
Side out.
And now after a very quick start to this second game,
8 serves 6.
it's Ruiz and Iglesias who are charging back. It was Ruiz and Iglesias who won game number 1, somewhat surprisingly.
Point. 9 serves 6.
Shorty laid into that ball.
We saw Shorty lay into a number of balls with the small ball,
Man
Dave.
down.
Has a lot of power during the rally.
9 serves 6. Side out.
John Iglesias, Dave, telling me that
6 serves
the
9.
first time he ever played
First man.
handball, he was about 8 years old, and he was just completely addicted from the first ball he ever hit. He stayed and played for 10 hours on the first ever day that he played, and he played for 10 hours every day after that.
I did the same thing when I discovered Baskin Robbins.
Man down.
Frostbite on my tongue.
6 serves 9. Second.
See who's scoring points here now. Shorty and John Iglesias getting a couple points.
Side out.
I'm assuming that if Shorty and Iglesias were to lose, that's
Nice
probably the
or
last
six,
time
first
they'll
man.
ever talk to each other.
I don't know if they ever have talked to each
Point.
other.
There's
10
another
to
point
6.
now, 10-6 for young Santos.
It was Jonathan, Dave, late last night trying to
Point.
recruit
Time out, Shorty.
a different partner for Shorty, saying that, you know, I'm just too tired. I don't think I can do this. And I thought, Dave, that Victor Perez would be taking Jonathan's place, but apparently Jonathan's decided that he does want to go ahead and play. So he stayed in all 3 divisions. Did not have a great morning this morning, as he lost in his 5th through 8th place playoff match to Andy Nett, 25-15, then lost in his small ball singles event in a tiebreaker, and now trailing here in game number 2, but he did win game number 1.
That's a good point. Now, you had breakfast this morning. I'm sure you probably cleared up a lot of things. One is that supposed injury that Juan Santos had as part of the result of why he lost to Samson Hernandez. I'm sure you talked about that. Anything else that you got out of these guys? I know that you talk about handball and where they grew up and how they played.
11:76.
What's so interesting, Dave, is these guys are really interested not only in big ball handball, but they love to talk about 4-wall handball. They wanted to know who's the best 4-wall player of all time, who's the best 4-wall player right now, what's it really like to play Brady. I mean, these guys, Dave, are really interested, and they're also playing 4-wall small ball now, and they're saying, you know, we wanted to play in the qualifier here, it's just we couldn't get the time off from school for Juan and the time off from work from Rudy. But he said, you know, we'd love to have one of the top guys come down and kind of teach us, because right now we're just playing each other and we don't really have that, you know, kind of mentor figure to show us the right kind of shots and the right techniques. So we're doing the best we can, but you know, that's inspiring, Dave, to hear that, because I think the 4-wall players, the small ball players feel the same way, that, you know, we'd like to play big ball also, but, you know, we'd like to go in there and learn from these guys and try and pick up what they're doing.
I can see that.
And interestingly, Dave, these guys asked me if all these race stops are going to incorporate big ball, because I think they want to go everywhere.
I have a feeling too, and I think we should probably really consider it.
Is that going to be announced formally, or is that going to be something that
I
just
can't
comes-
make that formal
Okay.
announcement, but I think it would be nice if we can move to that big ball edition.
12,
And I'm hearing the same
serve
things that
6.
you're hearing.
Yeah.
Also about Juarez and also about the big ball. And
Well, we hadn't
it's
really mentioned Juarez on
Oh,
the air.
I'm sorry, that was
Well,
off air. I don't know sometimes when we have on or off.
Well, we actually keep them on. We just put them on mute.
Okay,
Yeah.
you're right.
But Dave, I think you'll see all these big ball players here at 7 o'clock tonight watching the small ball finals. They just love to watch.
Well, they don't go. They don't go back to the
6 serves
hotel on
12.
ice. That's not something they do. They stay here.
Now, Dave, it would be interesting to kind of do a study on why it is that big ball is so much easier on your body. An amazing shot there from Juan Santos.
And we'll take a quick look at that replay if we have that ability.
6 serves 12. Second man.
As Shorty Ruiz and John Iglesias here at 6-12.
Second serve.
But Dave, just to think about what it is that makes small ball so hard on your body and produces so many injuries and so much soreness, as opposed to big ball, where it seems like the rallies are longer, there's maybe even more diving, but yet you'll never feel it the next day.
7 serves 12.
I played a lot of big ball 3-wall during the season, during this summer, a lot. Maybe every day leading up to certain tournaments that they had down in Southern California as we watched this play develop. And I think I have a theory on it, because I came back and played small ball for the first time and injured my shoulder on about the 6th shot in. I was thinking, I'm so in the best shape I've been in a long time, and yet I just got hurt. Good rally right here, just shot right at the face of Rudy Cruz, but the big ball handball is not as many grams as the small ball. That's one thing, and small ball is hard and heavy. And when you're off balance in big ball, and it's hard to do it without giving you an example, but if I'm off balance running backwards, all I have to do is lift a hand and open up my paddle and make a really good defensive shot. It's very easy to do. I could be off balance and jump up and just lightly tap it and get a great defensive shot. That, as you saw with Samson Hernandez earlier, he was making offensive shots with that exact same scenario. there's no issue with the shoulder because you kind of lock your shoulder and just use sort of a paddle shot. I came into the court, did the exact same thing, but decided early I tried to go with the paddle, and they stepped in and fly killed it, and I realized I had to go to the roof with that.
Yeah.
So I came in and hit a real hard roof shot off balance on the next time, and it actually tore my shoulder. And I think it's because that ball is so light.
Well, I believe, Dave, that the small ball does so many things. There's so many wrinkles on the small ball, Dave, with virtually every shot. And you play a guy, Dave, that can really hop the small ball. You're constantly
Point.
you're constantly reaching and lunging at a lot of these shots,
10,
and when you're
12.
getting pushed back, you have to put everything into those shots to return them defensively, as opposed to, like you said, with the big ball, Dave, you can just open up your hand almost like you have a racket in your hand and just throw it high on the wall, and it's a safe shot. I believe there's also a lot of dexterity and agility required to return the serve on the small ball. As you're guessing one way or the other, you have to get so low, and a lot of times you may even have to dive at a return of serve.
Side out.
This game's getting interesting here, Dave, and I agree that, you know, we can talk about the similarities a lot.
serves
I
10.
played it a lot, and it's something about it in big ball. The rallies stay alive longer, but you have times of rest in the middle of those long rallies because the ball is staying up, so you get your breath a little bit longer. And
Point.
during the summer, I lost 19 pounds playing big ball outdoor handball. It just
13 serves 10.
it's fun and it's exciting, and it's all new shots that you don't know. You can't take the traditional four-wall indoor shots there, and that's what
Men
Santos tried to do with a sidearm left-handed fist, and it
13
didn't
serves
work
10, second
because a
man.
fist shot is something he doesn't normally use.
That was a terrible error from Juan Santos, really at an inopportune time.
Possible game point.
Here it is,
serves
game
10.
point though. Maybe it was an opportune time because the hot serve right now is Ruiz Cruz. And there it is. They're going to go into a tiebreaker at 15-10. We'll have a break. Be back just a bit. Stick around here at racegreat.com.
They have to be in that box, no?
Yeah.
The last two serves, homie, was out of it.
What box?
That red one? He was serving good, but that dude was out of it.
Is that over there?
Which one stays in the box? The server or the other guy, right?
The other guy. He was out of it?
Just his right front.
Yeah, well, that's his short.
The last two serves.
right, Shorty, you serve. Yeah, you guys made more points. All right, this is up to 11. 10 game point.
Here we go, game number 3. John Iglesias
0-0.
serving here alongside his doubles partner, Shorty Ruiz, up against Juan Santos, our #1 player in the rankings, and his doubles partner, Cruz. You have to roll your Rudy
0-0.
Is the roll in the D?
on the R.
Oh, okay.
Rudy Cruz.
Side out. 0-0.
We're all together at 0 here. Going to 11, big right down the middle serve from Santos, but he gets one back, goes for the corner and hits it
Man
short.
down.
That was three very strange shots in a row. A serve right down the middle of the court, 20 feet off the back wall, and then Shorty gives him the same shot.
I like the serve from Rudy Cruz. Oh, look at that little soft kill shot right there from Santos. Open hand, take a little off.
1-0.
Now at 1-0.
Side out. 0-1. Man down.
And Shorty, Dave, looks a little fatigued right now. Not moving all that well.
0-1.
I believe, Dave, speed is the most critical ingredient to being a top big ball 4-wall player. Little miscommunication there.
Floor.
And a skip in from Rudy
Point.
Cruz.
One
have-
serves one.
3 of the top 4 big ball players, Dave, in the Big Ball Cup on the court right now. John
Side
Iglesias, you would have to think, would probably be in the top 10 if he were to participate. I know you're maybe
One
not
serves
necessarily
one.
giving that top 15, maybe?
I'd say about between 16 and 24. We saw Mondo Ortiz come out, who's an excellent player. Well,
Point.
losing
Johnny.
the round of 16 against some really good players, and
serves
also
one.
Marco Chavez, who's a crossover, played very inspired handball, losing also in the Cup Series. About, I'd say Mondo and Marcos
No.
about 16, 17, something like that, and I would say John Iglesias would be right there at about 15, 16.
Well, John Iglesias is
Two
a lot
serves
better
one.
than Armando in
Second
big
man.
ball. Can't speak to Marcos Chavez, haven't seen him.
Unbelievable.
Overball. Floor. Side out.
Juan had that shot lined up, Dave. That's one of his favorite shots, and he
One
just skips
serves
it.
two.
A double fist
Man
bump there
down.
from Juan Santos as the ball slides right
serves
by
two.
John on the right
Second
wall.
man.
And
find
Dave,
it-
do you find that it's harder to play first strike handball and doubles big ball with all the congestion and the difficulty in putting the ball down? Do you change your strategy so that even if you have a setup, maybe you just drive the ball instead?
Yeah, it's a completely different landscape. You might be thinking first strike, but you see a lot of these rallies are ending on plays where there's miscommunication, little
serves
strange corner kills like that, hand errors, but certainly entertaining up until that point. There's no formula. You don't see a great serve and then an immediate shot, but you do see some
Man down.
crazy shots like that. Santos missing that one though. What I
serves
find
one.
odd here is that both Shorty Ruiz and John Iglesias are both picking on Rudy Cruz, and I
Side
believe
out.
Rudy is probably the more solid 4-wall player of the two.
One serves two.
It's like everyone wants to keep a ball away from Juan Santos, but he's the one making all the errors.
But he's also made a lot of amazing kill shots, so you take the good with the bad. A lot of times, if you're the guy taking chances, you're going to be the one making more errors.
Look at that dive right there. Backhanded flip from Shorty Ruiz. Overhand tomahawk. Congestion up front. This is one of the best rallies of the tournament so far. Push back. Johnny Churches comes in, stepped in, fly. Back to the roof.
Rudy plays that nicely.
And there's that corner kill right there from Ibanez. And it's just a side out. A half out.
2, second man.
And then that ball hits Rudy Cruz on the way in. Shorty makes an amazing shot right there. Knows that Rudy has his back turned to the front wall, and Shorty just slows his swing down and hits Rudy with the ball.
2 serves 2.
Off the front wall. Smart play from Shorty Ruiz. Big setup now. Shorty's dangerous here. Look at that shot.
Beautiful inside-out kill. Open up the court by backing himself into the left side wall. And
he goes after it again.
And that was a first strike approach. And Shorty executes it perfectly.
Point.
And Jonathan plays that well. David looks a little bit lucky because he catches the side wall, but he anticipates hitting the side wall with his right hand and fights it off.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in just about 60 seconds. Stay here at racerate.com.
Iglesias, you got to shoot. Shoot the fucking kill. Yeah. Nah, don't be afraid. You got the kill. Shoot it. From the back wall, shoot that shit right there down the lane. Playing good defense, though. I see him. He's working.
Love.
All right, let's go. Five serves 2.
We are back here for conclusion of this tiebreaker after that timeout. Wow, look at this power from Shorty. Unbelievable gets right there from Juan Santos. Santos not really comfortable with balls coming off the back wall yet. Wow, inside out, down the wall shot from Juan Santos in front of a diving John Iglesias. Gets the side out, serving here at 2-5.
2 serves 5.
We're going to 11. This is the semifinals of the Pro Big Ball Doubles.
And Santos cannot afford to make that error. We've seen him make that error twice already in this tiebreaker. A patented left paddle kill that comes up short.
Over ball.
Rudy Cruz still serving. I believe Rudy has the best serve of the two here on the court on Team Cruz.
You want the towel? This is dry, come on. Really? That shit is dry, y'all. Come on. 2 serves 5, second man.
And another
out.
air, Dave, from Juan Santos. Pretty easy shot for him.
5
and he
serves 2.
took his team out of that inning, Dave, with a left-hand air and then a right-hand air. And now a huge setup. And Dave, you'd have to consider that yet another air. 3 airs in a row for the #1 player
6
on the
serves
Big
2.
Ball Cup Series. And now it'll be a long road to come back from 6-2, Dave, in this tiebreaker.
And you see there's a quick change of sides now. Juan Santos is on the right. Juan doesn't understand the hop yet off the back wall, around the corners and the revolving door. But up front, he's dangerous. Certainly uncomfortable here. And he can handle the power from Shorty.
Surprised John goes to the ceiling there. And this is a big setup. Maybe a strange bounce, Dave, on that back wall.
Wow. Look at this get right there from John Iglesias. Big long rally that ends right there with a half out. Shorty Ruiz just not tall enough.
6 serving 2.
I actually believe Shorty Ruiz and John Iglesias the perfect height for 4-wall handball. It would seem, Dave, that being about 5'6" would save you a lot of energy and enable you to get down low to pick up kill shots and also shoot the ball, as opposed to a taller guy who has a lot more bending to do and also a lot more to do to get himself in position to shoot the ball low.
This is a great long rally, Dave.
Point.
And another point going to Shorty and John Iglesias as Santos and Cruz just get tied up.
2.
The ball sweeps across the middle of the court.
Short. Second serve. Point.
That ball hits the back
No.
crease on the wall there.
8 serves 2.
There's a
Second
bad
man.
bounce, and the player said, "Do we get to do that over?" And referee said no, and there's no arguing whatsoever. That's just what it is.
Well, it's hard to argue with an objective rule. Most of the arguments you'll see are on subjective calls.
But I'm just saying, it's such a great rule. Now the players are just thinking about the ball right now, not the bad bounce. It's another long rally here. And a miss
Side out.
kill shot from Shorty Ruiz gets a side out. Now you see Santos serving from the right side here.
2 serves 8.
Dave, Santos has had a lot of opportunities here. Just a matter of whether he can start executing. It's starting to become late in this match, running out of time.
Unbelievable hands from Juan Santos.
I love that diving lob that Shorty hits. Very effective shot in big ball, particularly in 4-wall.
Point. Three serves 8. That one.
Gonna play that one over. A little congestion there. These players in big ball, Dave, will just say over, and it's given. I love the pace, I love the style, and I really do wish that 4-wall can adapt some of these rules where you see how quick it is. These guys are clearly in the way in a lot of shots, but yet they play through.
I kind of wish that you weren't such a small ball hater.
3 serves 8.
Scores
Learn to love.
3-8. Just saying I'd love it even more. Already love it.
No, if that's what you're saying. I'm assuming, which is something that apparently we do every 1/10 of a second that maybe you don't love it like you should. The great John Wooden, Dave, said that the most important 4-letter word in leadership is love.
Another great long rally here. Big, huge setup off the back wall. Santos tries to go with the 2-wall pass, misses it. Ball still into play. Santos dives to re-kill that, misses it, half out. Long rally that does not end in a towel timeout. They're just back in serving here. Unbelievable.
Short, short. You're outside the box. Stay in the box, that's a short. You have to stay in the box. That's a short right there. You have to stay inside. You can't step on the line. Right there. This is short. Yeah.
I'm just ignoring what I'm hearing right now.
So I believe our referee's saying you can't step on the line while you're serving?
No, well, Santos was laying over the line with his feet. Technically, it would just be a foot fault. You can call it short if you want.
Well, some people call a 3-wall serve short. It's a way of saying a fault, I believe.
That's
Point.
true.
Four serves 8.
Now we're at 4-8. Wow, now make it 5-8 here in the breaker. And a timeout being called from Shorty Ruiz. We'll also take a timeout. We'll be back in 60 seconds. Stick around.
If your feet in the box, I'm calling short.
Coming back in from a tiebreaker timeout is Rudy Cruz, second man, serving here at 5-8. Referee is Samson Hernandez. Rudy Cruz and his partner Juan Santos up against Shorty Ruiz, and John Iglesias.
None of these guys, Dave, going for the bottom board.
Now it's becoming kind of funny. That's going to be tough.
It's almost as though they're playing a game, how long they can keep this rally going.
It's like the game of Pong. Well, here's a big setup here.
John gets his hand too far underneath that ball and unable to drive it parallel with the floor.
Side out.
That's a full side out here now.
8 serves 5.
There's contact there. Rudy's looking for it.
Man down.
Referee saying, I don't know. Just
Yeah, no, it was the ball. The ball was too far out. The ball was too far out, bro. Kind of skid off the wall. It was a bad bounce out there. 8 serves 5. Point. 9 serves 5.
another
Now
setup
it's-
for Shorty. Oh, and his swings and misses on that, Dave.
Side
I've
out.
not seen a worse time to have that happen in the middle of a tiebreaker.
If they were down 9-5, that might have been a worse time. But Dave, a
5
guy that
serves
you said
9.
wouldn't be in the top 15 in big ball 3-wall is about to book his spot in the final here of this pro big ball doubles final.
Point.
Now we're at 6-9.
Perhaps you would take that back and maybe
6 serves 9.
No,
jump. No? Okay.
no, I'm not saying that he's not a good player. By all means, he's one of the best all-around players. But yeah, I don't know if you recognize
Man
you know,
down.
how good the talent is in 3-wall.
6 serves 9.
It's so deep.
I believe David.
I think in a short period of time, he'd be right up there in the top.
Point.
By far. But just right now,
Okay.
I'm saying he's about 15, 16, 17.
7 serves 9.
I saw the guy that's currently ranked number 17 play, and he just destroyed a traditional 4-wall player. And there was a nice side out right there from Shorty Ruiz.
8 serves 9.
8-9 is the score.
Short. Second serve.
And there's an amazing shot, Dave, from Juan Santos. John
Timeout,
Iglesias
Shorty.
diving in, unable to make that pickup.
Time out. 1 minute.
Dave, John Iglesias is one of the great get artists that is really not mentioned as being one.
Well, it's unfortunate for Rudy Cruz. He has to go on to this court right immediately following this doubles game. He comes on immediately, and he's going to play Ricky Ruiz in the men's semifinals of the Pro Big Ball singles.
Well, I don't know if that's unfortunate, Dave. These big ball guys just love to play all day long.
That's true.
He's probably happy that he doesn't even have a break.
I believe the score is tied at 9 right now.
I
Am
believe you're right. And as Juan Santos just hit a kill shot
ready?
into the right corner that John Iglesias didn't pick up, and I think they
9
were
serves
serving.
9, second man.
That's right, 9-9. And they are on the second man, so they have this one chance still here.
And I suppose, Dave, that you'd rather be serving here with one server rather than receiving.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And not unless it was rally scoring. I think I'd rather be returning serve. And there's 2 bounces, then there's a side out. I think if it was rally scoring, I'd like to be returning the serve because you have a better chance to return. Big ball,
9 serves
like you
9,
said,
first
no
man.
aces, really.
Yeah.
And you're back, and you have more time to think. And here it is, game
A
point and
terrible
match point.
error there from Rudy Cruz, Dave. Inexplicable error at 9-all in the tiebreaker.
Possible game point. Serves 9.
See what Shorty does.
Over.
Crowd, you hear some oohs and ahs out there.
Possible game point. Serves 9. Over ball.
That ball's going to be played over by the referee.
Didn't hit him. It's over. It's over.
This is
No,
the second day in a row, Dave.
but-
Jonathan celebrated thinking that he'd won a match, only to have the referee tell him either, no, you have to win by 2, or that was a hinder. So let's see if he can recover from it today, Dave. He couldn't yesterday from a
Possible game point,
premature
serves 9.
celebration.
Well, they still have 2 guys serving here.
Over ball.
Kind of a strange call there, Dave, that hinder at 10-9. We don't see many hinders called, and that one definitely didn't look like there was too much congestion.
Game point serves 9. Game.
There it is. Game is over, and Shorty Ruiz and his doubles partner John Iglesias have booked their trip into the finals to face Sal Duenas and Danny Cervantes tomorrow at 12 o'clock in the afternoon Mountain Time. We'll have the men's semifinals of the big ball singles coming up next. Stick around here at racefor8.com.
There are a million places you'd never consider texting. So why would you do it while driving? Leave risky driving to the professionals. Stop the texts, and together we can stop the wrecks.
Are you getting this, honey?
Oh, prime time. We are rolling.
All right, Mama's gonna bring it home. Mama's gonna bring it home. Okay.
Come on, watch this guy.
Oh, backwards.
Oh, don't. Oh.
It went into Bob and Carol's yard. Oh, no? Okay, here it goes.
Challenge your kids to be active and eat healthy.
All right, let's see what you can do. Let's go.
They might surprise you. Search We Can for more ideas on how you and your kids can get healthy together.
Working and working out takes a lot of energy. That's why I drink Zenergy. Feeling fantastic and looking good has never been easier. Zions, extreme science for your active lifestyle.
My name is Bruce Fabrizio. In 1975, I invented Simple Green based on 3 principles. It had to be safer to use, it had to work, and it had to be completely made in America. From generation to generation, Simple Green has been cleaning everything from car engines and tools to kitchen counters and floors. No matter what you clean, indoors or outdoors, clean it with non-toxic, biodegradable Simple Green.